Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between LabyRinth and Infi. This game taking place here on Twisted Meadows 1.1. Let's go ahead and break things down in this 1v1 matchup. LabyRinth spawning as the teal undead on the top right-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Infi spawning as the night elf on the bottom left, opening up with an Ancient of War to clear out this difficult creep camp here. Interestingly enough, it looks like it is forced cross spawns here on Twisted Meadows, and with those forced cross spawns, well, you can build an expansion or clear out things a little bit farther away from home, and people are none the wiser. Keeper of the Grove already gonna head off to the north here, trying to catch up. We are looking at a single archer. There's a pig getting cleaned up as well, as the Death Knight, already out on the battlefield, quickly sells that Scroll of Town Portal, picks up a Rod of Necromancy and a Sacrificial Skull. It looks as though multiple sides are going to be trying to clear out creep camps here. And, did he use that Rod of Necromancy charge again? Nope, did not use that Rod of Necromancy charge. Heading straight after this Ogre Magi creep camp, placing down Blight, and now going after that Ogre Magi. All right, 2 skeletal minions, 2 ghouls, and an acolyte, and head next to a gold mine and about to take them down. Forest Troll Trapper going to clean things up. Where is that reveal? And oh wow, a beautiful, beautiful spider sense by LabyRinth to use a reveal off to the north side here, spotting the Tree of Life expansion. Beautifully done, very well played. Ring of Regeneration now picked up by Infi's, Infi's Keeper of the Grove. And with that, I like Ring of Regeneration as an item as we may see a Goblin Alchemist as that second hero, a hero who often has low hit points just because his hit point capacity is so large. All right, going to go into an engagement here. Archer trying to retreat back, a little bit of damage heading back and forth. There goes an entangle onto a ghoul. Ghoul is going to get a delivery of a death coil to save his life there. As the treants are unable to finish the job. Are we going to see another entangle? Yes, we are. There's another death coil. Both sides pretty much exchanging 150 mana, and still Infi getting the kill, even though the experience was denied. Beautifully done by that skeletal minion, as the Keeper of the Grove now tries to protect the expansion here at this 10 o'clock position. Meanwhile, the expansion over here by LabyRinth now nearly completed. That haunted gold mine nearly done, as that Tree of Life is just trying to become completed. There is one Moonwell here, a little bit of home base defense, as the archers are going to be able to poke apart some of those ghouls pretty quickly. All right, one ghoul already down. Another ghoul going to get taken down as well. And remember, there is a Moonwell, and this is during nightfall, so all the archers are benefiting from that additional hit point regeneration. Beautiful, backing up into this base right here. Is he going to end up surviving? No, not going to end up surviving, but at what cost? One or two, multiple ghouls getting cleaned up here again, as there is now a Keeper of the Grove and 3 archers going up against this one Death Knight here. This ghoul going to have a very, very bad day. Is it going to get denied as well? Yes, it is. Beautiful play by LabyRinth, denying 2 ghouls so far, which would have given that Keeper of the Grove, that much more experience for level 3. Expansion already up by LabyRinth. Meanwhile, Infi being forced to rebuild his Tree of Life if he wants to set up an expansion. Also, the base of Infi is rather sparse right now, as the Keeper of the Grove and archers are all out here by the expansion. Thank you for the follow again. Death Knight coming back around. There goes another bit of deny once more, and LabyRinth has denied multiple ghouls in this matchup so far, as that archer finally does end up falling. Who has lost more? Well, Infi is down to 10 supply army, and that is it. As we're going to be looking at an archer getting cleaned up there. Death Knight wants to get the last hit on that. Wants to get 1 more or 2 more hits. Unholy Aura able to close in on that distance. Level 3 now on the Death Knight, as they are looking to run back around. LabyRinth having a 21 supply compared to Infi's 8 supply. Not very large army at all, as we see an entangle going down onto a ghoul. Archer right there. Are we going to see a death coil? We could be looking at a death coil. Nope, denying again, and not going to have enough mana, and going to pick up, sell some items, and move on his merry way. Skeletal minions, well, doing a little bit of harassment inside the base here. Tree of Life teching the tier 2. Meanwhile, we are still at Necropolis inside the base of Labyrinth. All right, so no tech to tier 2 at all by Labyrinth, even though his base is up and running. We're getting up a second Necropolis here at the expansion location as the Death Knight, actually in a bit of a strange spot, sitting at level 3 by himself while still at tier 1. The meta has definitely changed since, well, over the years. This would be something that you would rarely ever see undead fast expanding here on Twisted Meadows. Necropolis now getting upgraded here is going to be a bit behind the tech of Infi, as we could be looking at a panda or goblin alchemist as that second hero. Death Knight now wandering down across to the south here, gonna perhaps even get to level 4 during all this time. And as a player, I always find it a difficult when your primary hero is at level 4 and your second hero is only at level 1. It almost feels like your primary hero needs to be involved in the battle to try and start clearing out some of the creep camps with him, but you don't want to like actually take any of that experience away. All right, Labyrinth quickly finding a way to use that additional gold, hiring up an Ogre Mauler and a Forest Troll Shadow Priest, leaving behind Gauntlets of Ogre Strength +3 because, well, there's just no more room. Lich could get trained up. If he remembers that item is there, he will be going back for it as the Death Knight, well, nearing level 4. And we see this massive army running across the center here. 38 supply army compared to 17. Forest Troll Shadow Priest gets auto-attacked, but the Keeper of the Grove knows that he cannot just simply entangle it because of that abolished magic. All right, there's a Death Coil onto that Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove trying to retreat back away. Meanwhile, Ogre Mauler and Ghouls bringing about damage onto all of those Moonwells fairly fast, as the Forest Troll Shadow Priest does need to get away from those from those treants. Abolish magic not going to be that useful against those treants there, as now that, well, there's 3 treants, not having enough mana capacity to really try and finish them off. All right, Goblin Shredder joining in on the fight as well, trying to take down a couple of these ghouls, as the Keeper of the Grove is trying to, well, defend against the Labyrinth's, well, very large attack. Level 4 now already on the Death Knight. Panda is going to be that second hero, as that Panda with Breath of Fire going to be coming in from the back and trying to blow over all of these units, rack up a little bit of damage. However, Panda could be in trouble. He could end up getting surrounded, able to duck and dive free here just momentarily, as the Panda's Breath of Fire is still on cooldown. Goblin Shredder trying to head back away. Crazy action here, as the Goblin Shredder perhaps going to get repaired and then be able to fight back against all of these units. What is going on here? Keeper of the Grove, well, Goblin Shredder actually fighting back against all of these ghouls fairly well and gonna end up staying alive. All right, Goblin Shredder was down to sub 100 hit points. Well, it could not get nuked by the Death Knight's Death Coil, as it is a mechanical unit. And then to add on top of that, Infi brought an army of wisps to try and repair that Goblin Shredder and keep him alive. Death Knight sitting at level 4. Lich now out on the battlefield. Halls of the Dead tech. We are getting up a third crypt and now going into gargoyles, as a slaughterhouse is now getting trained up as well. Keeper of the Grove going after the Null Overseer here. Brewmaster, well, absorbing a bit of damage, but strength-based heroes with high hit point capacities do benefit better from that Ring of Regeneration. You can see how quickly his hit points are rising. Coming back around here, Death Knight trying to go after the Keeper of the Grove. Death Coil, Frost Nova, not necessarily in that order, but a Scroll of Town Portal allowing Infi to escape. Now, with an army of gargoyles like this, it is possible that Labyrinth tries to clear out... Are there drakes, actually? Yeah, there are red dragon whelps. It isn't actually that very large dragon in the corner anymore. I got to remember, this is version 1.1, as the gargoyles are going to be getting cleaned up there. Panda looking to, well, get to level 3, Perhaps going to try and get a breath of fire off, trying to get in position, getting dual scrolls of healing and also those boots of speed. And now going after the Ogre Warrior now. Gargoyles going straight after some units. Death Coils trying to finish off some more units as well. Brewmaster could turn back around, try to finish things off. There goes an Ogre Mauler as damage is still getting racked up. There's a Drunken Haze. Are we going to see a breath of fire? Yeah, it looks as though one Gargoyle could end up getting taken down. No, instead getting a Death Coil to stay alive and stick around a little bit longer. Brewmaster really needs to heal back up quite a bit of hit points. Are we looking at Druids of the Claw behind this? No, still mass Dryads as we are checking the Tree of Eternity. It looks as though the expansions are just going to remain untouched after an earlier brawl at those places. Well, both sides just saying, you know what, you can have an additional base, I can have an additional base. Let's, well, battle it somewhere else through our armies. All right, Forest Troll Warlord going to get cleaned up here. Level 2 now on that Lich, level 4 on that Death Knight, picking up True Shot Aura for the Death Knight here. And, well, that is going to be able to rack up a little bit more damage. Thank you for the follow again as the Gargoyles continuing to clean things up. All right, Gargoyles, well, trying to go after the Keeper of the Grove. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, making that, well, a little bit more difficult as the Gargoyles with their fast movement speed constantly doing hit and run tactics and trying to go after the Dryads as the Dryads with negative armor because of the Orb of Corruption coupled with that piercing damage on that unarmored body type really take large amounts of damage there. Orb of Venom, however, on the Brewmaster causing quite a bit of problems as we're looking at Venom onto those Gargoyles, and they don't have that many hit points to try and recover either. Both sides fighting their way through. Panda continuing to do those auto attacks as we are going into a Dreadlord as a third and final hero. All right, Breath of Fire pushing on through. Gargoyles trying to find constant targets. Destroyers, well, out here to perhaps eat up some of those treants. Thank you for the follow as the Death Knight now makes its way back around. Keeper of the Grove continuing to clean up those Gargoyles there. That was a bit of a denied. Lich using a Dark Ritual to deny that bit of experience, but could be in trouble himself as we see a Devour Magic to break free from that entangle, only to see it surrounded completely by Dryad. More damage still racking up here. Death Knight still needs a little bit more. Destroyer coming back around, and the Lich is going to perhaps get a little bit more mana as well. Lich continuing to come back across here. Vampiric Aura as the primary ability on that Dreadlord, interestingly enough, and that is going to give it a very, very big advantage if we see a transition into Hippogriffs. I found your channel again. I've never moved my channel, so I don't know how difficult it is to find my channel again. For all of you guys who want to find my channel, follow and subscribe. There's buttons and things on the internet to help you do that. Coming back around. Gargoyles continuing to clean things up here. Scourge Bone Chimes picked up. That will quickly be sold. Do I play WarCraft 3? I used to play a lot. But in my older age, I realized I don't have the Twitch muscles nor the time to practice. And well, the story is my wife realized that I really enjoyed WarCraft 3, but as I would play and get better, I would often get frustrated because we've all been there. And as I was getting frustrated, my wife's like, you got to find another way to enjoy WarCraft 3. And I'm like, well, I can cast it. And she's like, okay. I'm like, well, I would need to buy a new computer and buy all this equipment and setup. And she's like, okay. And this was before Twitch, right? This was in the early days of like YouTube 2009. I bought some simple recording software where the videos were like 50 gigabytes, and I started recording. And well, 13 years later, I'm still here. Maybe I can coach people. I can find things to coach, but overall, in terms of gameplay, meta, like what should have been the proper thing to do here, I think Carson from Back to Warcraft is perhaps a much better coach, and he's also the coach for Dust Gaming, I think. So if you're looking for a coach, go talk to him. He does some beautiful analysis as well, keeping Back to Warcraft guys, everyone keeping things alive. Number one, Moracaster, you are so lucky. There's a pain. Well, Dude, because not many people play. I played with legendary players Todd in my team. Yeah, no, Todd, doing 4v4s with Todd, that would be fun. I've done some 4v4s. I think there's a video on my channel where me, Witty, and 2 other casters are playing a 4v3 against some pro players, and that was just an absolute blast and fun to do. All right, Scroll of Town Portal heading back out. All right, let's focus on this game at hand. So much to talk about, so much fun to be had. Maybe they'll revive the casters versus pro games. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that was fun overall. 4 versus 4 is chill, not stressful like 1v1. Used to do a lot of 3v3 and 3v3s, 1v1s. I think the main reason why 4v4 is chill is because if you lose, you can always just blame your team for not doing something correctly, and that generally is the case if you are a very strong player. Players like Todd often do. If you watch any of their 4v4 videos, it's like he does often like say, his teams are doing things wrong, which is true because he's such a strong player to begin with, right? It would be like Hall of Fame baseball players wondering why recreational players can't play like them. It's just what it is. Anyways, coming back around, while Gargoyles in the air, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, really causing them to miss their targets as the Dryads are now doing a nice semicircle around to try and surround. Keeper of the Grove, getting in some damage. There's those Obsidian statues trying to heal up all of those units as the Demon Hunter falls at level 3. Demon Hunter falling at level 3. No more mana burns onto that Lich. We are looking at Carrion Swarm trying to rip through as the Destroyers are trying to retreat back here. Gargoyle is joining back in on the battle, but you got to remember, they are low on hit points. Obsidian Statue getting cleaned up here. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire could really blow them all out of the sky, as the Death Knight does have a pendant of mana after all this time. Brewmaster trying to retreat back, Staff of Preservation. 66 supply compared to 59 as the Gargoyles are looking to retreat back here, cleaning up this expansion attempt. We are looking at multiple bases. Ancient of War being built right next to this Haunted Gold Mine, and that will get cleaned up as we're still looking at multiple chases getting underway. All right, Lich looking to retreat back. Dryads slowly poking down that Lich. Scourge Bone Chimes item still on that Lich. And interestingly enough, the Dreadlord actually retrained to Carrion Swarm and Sleep specifically for this reason. There goes a Frost Nova onto the Keeper of the Grove. Keeper of the Grove going to be suffering quite a bit of damage here. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, Death of Coil trying to stay alive here as the Lich does need to back away. There's a Breath of Fire blowing over some units, and the Dreadlord escapes at nothing. He does not escape. The Breath of Fire damage over time was enough to finish the job and take him down. Dryads now looking to clear up this expansion here at the 1 o'clock location as the Acolytes are slowly making their way back. Dreadlord quickly resurrected at the tavern, has a bunch of pendants of energy, and now perhaps the Death Knight needs those pendants of energy to try and get more death coils off and heal up his own units. Yes, Todd called us trash and had to lead us to victory. Well, yeah. All right, Dryads coming back through. Death Knight now making its way back over. There's a Panda coming back across here. Meanwhile, down to the south in position, Dryad finding a lone ghoul trying to retreat back away. Thank you for the follow. As well, Lich, Dreadlord, and Death Knight making a move run down to the south. All right, those pendants of energy could actually become a bit of a problem. Lich could try and Dark Ritual a Gargoyle and then transfer the pendants of energy over to that Lich, and suddenly that Lich would have close to about 600 mana very quickly and very easily, just by maintaining that there. Dreadlord would drop obviously in mana, but that's just a price you have to pay. Is it a StarCraft game with so many expos? Yeah, well, it definitely does feel like this. So much expansion, harassment coming back across multiple locations. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire across all of those gargoyle units there. Death Knight now diving in. Demon Hunter trying to get it some mana burns off, now being forced to retreat back. Lich could try and machine gun off some more Frost Novas, but the Dryad army, as you know, is magic immune. Dryads continuing to poke apart at the Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiends have 3-0 upgrades going up against the 2-2 upgrades of the Night Elf army. Sorry, yeah, Crypt Fiends 3-0, Night Elf army 2-2. All right, we're going to see some more Devourer Magic trying to go after some of those targets there as Venom, well, Dark Ritual, as the Lich finally gets cleaned up there. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, Lich sitting at level 4, already at 350 mana. I got to imagine, well, the Dreadlord opens things up with a Carrion Swarm and a Sleep, and then transfers the pendants over. That would be a very, very useful there. All right, engagement, Mana Burn onto the Lich already. Breath of Fire going back across. Lich, no Frost Nova going down for some strange reason, as Staff of Preservation is going to go for the save. Gargoyles are getting cleaned up. Death Knight going after some of the Dryads as the Panda is still fighting its way through. We're looking at Obsidian Statues trying to blast apart of that Brewmaster. Brewmaster, Potion of Invulnerability transferred in time. Breath of Fire going back the other way, now blowing over the Gargoyles and those Crypt Fiends. Obsidian Statue working overtime, trying to keep the units alive, but does not look like it is working that well. Brewmaster ends up surviving at 65 hit points, going to get a rejuvenation here. Death Knight trying to close in on that target, perhaps trying to clean up some of these additional targets here as the Lich is nearby enough. Death Coil Frost Nova should be on that Panda here in just a moment. Staff of Preservation in time as the Dreadlord gets a Potion of Invulnerability. All right, both sides need to find a way. Are we going to get a little bit more mana trying to take down that Druid of the Claw? Druid of the Claw, a little bit of extra damage there. And Vampiric Aura actually came in with the save, getting in that little bit of extra damage. And now that Dreadlord is actually running for the hills, down to 12 hit points, down to 2 hit points, but you cannot get killed by poison. Coming back the other way, Dreadlord escapes at 2 hit points. I can't believe I actually said that. Dreadlord escapes at 2 hit points there as the Death Knight may end up getting taken down. 1 or 2 more shots. Dryads actually getting in the way, preventing the Demon Hunter from being able to retreat back as the Staff of Teleportation coming back in around. All right. Oh, Brewmaster escaping at 6 hit points as the Keeper of the Grove, Staff of Teleportation's inside here. Lich trying to retreat back down to 147 hit points. Death Knight doesn't have that much mana. Lich is going to get finished off. Level 6 now on that Keeper of the Grove. Tranquility quickly being used to try and top back off that Keeper of the Grove there, as we've had so many lead changes in this game. That Staff of Teleportation, Staff of Preservation to save the Panda in the teens. I do not know how many times we've seen low-level heroes being able to escape at just the right moment, as the Lich looking to get in a little bit more mana here. Death Knight still low on mana, is going to get a Death Coil off on the air. Dreadlord coming back around. What is he doing? Dreadlord actually engaging, using a little bit of Vampiric Aura to try and heal some hit points, as we're looking at a Pendant of Mana on the ground. Pendant of Mana, well, Potion of Mana was used, and then picked back up as the Lich could get off another big Frost Nova, perhaps a sleep onto that onto that bear. Just sleep the bear, and then you'd be able to take him down without having to dive on into the Night Elf base. Tranquility still back online for the Keeper of the Grove, or will be back online here in just a moment. Breath of Fire blows over the Death Knight as the Panda comes in from the back. All right, Breath of Fire finishing things off, and what a game, going back and forth. Feels like I missed the middle portion of it because of Twitch, but having some fun. Beautiful saves. Panda coming in with the Breath of Fire, blowing over that Death Knight in the end. And, well, even without the Demon Hunter to try and control mana on the Lich and the Death Knight, well, it still did a great job overall. We never saw a transition into a slaughterhouse into abominations. That it would have been my recommendation there. A little bit of a tech choice, as we know how effective Disease Cloud is against these low hit point Dryads who generally clump together. Anytime you're able to apply Disease Cloud onto Night Elf units, low hit point Night Elf units, their hit points generally start dropping so quickly that in the battle of attrition, you end up winning. The gargoyles were beautifully countered by the brewmaster. That drunken haze, breath of fire, 1-2 combination, easily constantly lowering the hit points of the gargoyles to get finished off by dryads. Also, we see the triple orb of venom strategy on the keeper of the grove, the panda, and also that demon hunter, which, well, orb of venom does stack if it is applied by different heroes. So with that, you are getting an additional 15 damage a second after the fight, and I think that, coupled with the breath of fire damage over time, was what killed that dreadlord. My brain was trying to process what was happening because it looked like the dreadlord had more than enough hit points, and then it was dropping much faster than what a level 2 breath of fire damage over time should have been. So those small plays by Infi ended up giving him the advantage there. Let's take a look at the final scores. Also, doing a long outro so that players who are watching on YouTube, or viewers watching on YouTube, won't quite know the length of the overall game. All right, final overall scores right there. Infi actually losing in the unit score, and you can see how close the game was throughout. LabyRinth actually mined more gold and had a larger army most of the time, as he's lost more gold to upkeep as well. With that said, though, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.